I've never been so. My Ramadan's never been so good, and I would say that's purely down to your program, really. The first day I was at my mum's house, had all the typical stuff, yeah, easy, sana, whatever. But since then, I've just been eating really clean. And even the other day where, because I'm back in Stockholm now, and even the other day where I went to the masjid, I was able to automatically categorize and apply the whole red, green, rag status against the food. And there was a all butter cross on there. My brain goes red food automatically.
Brilliant.
And yeah, I've been eating so clean. I've been doing so many steps as well. Like I'm doing more steps in Ramadan than I was doing even when I was on the program. One of the things you asked was the reason why I went for it. And yes, from the start it looks like a big price tag for Adam Khan's fitness program. But the way I broke it down was, right, in 1 year's time, what's going to be my end goal? In 1 year's time, I will, within 3 months or 12 weeks, I'll pay X amount and I'll lose weight, right? And these are guaranteed results that you guys have promised. If I were to get a David Lloyd's membership, that's almost, 150, around that, a month. So I'll be going to the gym 12 months, trying to lose weight. And obviously after the program, and it's sort of common knowledge that most of weight loss is to do with nutrition. And that's exactly what you guys focus on. So I thought, right, I can achieve this in 3 months if I pay this now, as opposed to wasting my time for a year still trying to figure it out. And then also I looked at that was the kind of short-term benefit. And the long-term benefit is I'm just over 30 now, 33. I've got more or less, based on its data, about 30 to 40 years to live, right? So if you spread those payments across 30 or 40 years, and it's just an exchange, right? You're just like, right, so I could be healthy for the next 30, 40 years. And then if you divide that amount by 30, 40, you're just like, it's pennies. It's really pennies.
Brilliant. That's the point I'm trying to get across to some people.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm getting. I have been talking to some people. They've been in my inbox, and I really worry about them. I really, really worry about them, because in the time I've been doing this, I've witnessed like 3 deaths in my inbox.
Wow.
Others have told me about other people that they know. Like I got a message last week from a brother, one of my ex-clients, who sent something that somebody he knows. Then a couple of months before that, there was another client of mine who was going through our program, and he didn't really take it seriously at all. And then he left the program. He was quite wealthy. It wasn't a big thing for him. He didn't. He did it half-heartedly, I'd say. Then a few months later, his brother, who is like a couple of years older than him, had a heart attack.
No way.
And that shook him up. He came back and rejoined the program.
Wow.
Right, and then this second time round, though, he did it properly. And the rest, as they say, is history. He's lost the weight. He's kept it off now.
I'm trying to preach to everyone to walk. Everyone, I think in one of your lectures you said you got that 1 mile, 2 mile rule, right? Anything within a mile you walk, and anything a mile above or 2 miles above you cycle, and then it's just trying to apply those exercises. Like walking's not really an exercise, but it's trying to apply these activities, that's the better word, to your daily life to allow you to just sort of fit that all in. Because at the end of the day, we're all busy, family, kids, work, job, etc. But the beauty about your program is that being able to integrate these activities, and then I can go on about NEAT. I think that's amazing as well, all into your lifestyle. And that's exactly what I've been doing. Because I can easily I try to go to the mosque go to the mosque every day for Ramadan. I've got 2 options. I can take the underground here, or I can take the voice scooters. But I just walk. And the main thing is the mindset shift. What I've got from the program to start becoming a lot more productive and better, making better choices with when it comes to food, when it comes to activities. And I've done this all without going to gym. I know, Mohammed knows as well. I'm a bit allergic to the gym, I just find it a bit of a mundane task. And I know you're going to be like, Riz, you need to get there at one point, resistance training. I know, I get it. But for me at the time being, it's just working out. The walking, everything's just working out for me. So that's really the main, well, one of the main benefits of the program.
Before I never used to push the gym as much, but then what's happened is I found that a lot of our clients, in fact, we've got clients who used to go to the gym and then they quit the gym. And so I always joke, I say, I found that I've made them lazy. Right? And the problem is there is benefit to the gym or to training, resistance training. You don't have to be in the gym. You can do it at home. You can do it with your body weight, whatever. Resistance training is important. The gym is just more convenient, with the exercise selection and things like that. Now, there's tons of health benefits to adding muscle and getting stronger. More health benefits than there is to doing cardio. So that's why I felt, okay, you're missing out on all these health benefits. Secondly, people want to look toned and they want to look good, right? And the only way you're going to look toned and good is if you add muscle after you've lost the fat. And so those two reasons. It's the funny thing, I've had people who've been following me for years where I'm saying that you don't need the gym. I don't say it as much as I used to before. I say, you don't need the gym, you don't need the gym, you don't need the gym. And they message me and say, and they follow my stuff. They comment, they like. But after all of that, they message me and say, I want to start your program, but I haven't got time for the gym. It's like, what have you been consuming? Like, what have you read of mine? Because and it makes no sense to me because you liked those posts, you engaged on them, you commented on them, but the message still didn't register. You don't need the gym. So I say my message is make a start, lose weight. Then the gym is a bonus. If you can lose weight without the gym, two things. One is you have a skill for life now. You know that wherever you are in the world, whatever circumstances, you can still lose weight, right? You don't need to have this crutch. Oh, I need the gym. Secondly, now you think, okay, if I add the gym to it, I'm going to get even better results. So then that motivates you that, hey, I could do so much better than this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you hit the nail on the head. It is totally a skill for life now. And that's exactly why I invested into it, because it's an investment for life, a skill for life. It's going for the course and having a good education. It filters out all the BS, and that's the main thing for me. Because when I first initially spoke to you, I said, "Yeah, I know things," But the thing is little stuff like, right before I spoke to you or got into this program, I thought I was being, some things might be healthy but not good for weight loss. And that's the difference or distinguishment that people need to understand. So it's funny, before I was going on this program, got onto this program, I was having, you got rice cakes?
Yeah.
I had a rice cake with peanut butter and bananas, sliced bananas. And that was my go-to snack. I used to have it like twice a day. And I used to think, why am I not losing weight? I'm doing everything what these YouTube gurus tell you I'm doing. And now I know why,
Bear in mind, you can still accommodate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and just on that point, that's the beauty about it as well. It's having that relationship. So yeah, I can have a rice cake, I can have peanut butter, but it's about, okay, if I have that now, what can I do after, right? So it's about planning ahead and thinking, okay, if I have this calorie dense food now, then okay, maybe I need to hold back after. So sometimes if I have a heavy lunch, it means that I plan ahead and be like, okay, I'm going to have a light dinner now, just to kind of balance that off, or vice versa. If I know I'm having fried chicken in the evening, family's coming around, then I hold off. I have like a yogurt or some salad, something light to keep me going, or a protein bar within the day, so I can just afford to eat that type of food late in the day. One of the other things as well, which is really interesting about your program, is about the on average you have to gain, I think, is 1.5 kg. You need to be over 3,500 calorie deficit, and that's really improved my relationship with my food, because I'm one of those guys, like most of us really. If I have fried chicken on a Tuesday, I'll be like, that's it. That's my week done. I'm going to start back on Monday. So that week from Tuesday to the Sunday, it will be just eating totally rubbish because I've just written that whole week off. And it's like an infinite loop you go through. But knowing that, okay, actually, if I have this fried chicken and I'm within that 3,500 calorie deficit, then that I can afford to eat that. And another thing, I keep going about calories, but you know, if somebody does watch this, one thing I like about this program is that, because me, you know, I'm the type of individual, I hate counting calories, I hate taking pictures of my food. I just want a really simple, you know, stuff. And, you know, you've replaced calories with a hand portion control as well. You know, a thumb of fats, handful of rice, protein, I think is a palm. So that really helped my relationship with food because I'm not calorie counting, I'm not stressing over all that rubbish. I'm just doing what I, you know, do and just eat and eat well and just understand that, you know, okay, if I eat certain stuff, it has certain effects. Yeah, that overall relationship with the food has.
Would you say, and the thing is, people just don't know what they don't know, right? People don't know what they don't know. There's a ton of things that you've learned because you thought you knew everything, right?
Yeah.
It's simple, straightforward, but there's a ton of things that you learned that on the program that you didn't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the whole neat stuff, also the I forgot the technical term for it, but the whole is it thermogenesis, the way your kind of body. Sorry, somebody just gave me a call. So yeah, starting back up, or start my point again. So the whole NEAT and the thermogenesis, the way your body processes it. So like when you eat protein, like 25% of it is knocked off because the way your body actually processes it. That's something I didn't know. So, you know, and hence the reason why you guys kind of put your focus on protein whilst carbs and fats are edible. You know, the focus is in protein and it's got so many benefits from.
I'll give you the food traffic light system you weren't aware of. I'll give you another one that you're not aware of. I'm going to bring it to your attention now. When I tell you again.
Yeah.
The questions I ask you to ask yourself after every meal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So once you've got that, again, I think people don't understand is that it's not one thing. It's everything works synergistically.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, when you have this feeds into that feeds into this.
Yeah.
And once you have that knowledge and you scaffold that knowledge, that's when it becomes powerful.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. Sorry, I'll let you finish your point, but it just triggers something.
There's a term, I believe, whole is greater than some of its parts. This knowledge, so once you know one thing, like you know the food traffic light system, but then when you pair it with, okay, I'm going to ask myself these 3 questions after every meal.
Yeah.
And then that eliminates the need to count calories, to be obsessed over certain foods, or to be obsessed about, oh, if I ate this, I've ruined it. Because one of the biggest challenges people have is that this on-off mindset. Yeah. And that comes from the dieting culture. You know, when I kind of rile against keto and carnivore and all these fad diets, I do it because I think it's harming more people than it is benefiting. Yes, some people are benefited from it. But again, you could probably derive those benefits without keto, without carnivore, if you understood nutrition and you understood the bigger picture. This on-off mindset, this never-ending vicious cycle is from things like keto, because it's, oh, well, it can't eat this food. And in keto, if you did keto, it would actually mess you up for the whole week. That's correct, because you'd come out of keto and then you'd have to get back into keto.
Yeah.
And then you have one meal, then you come out of it again. Yeah, with those diets, the on-off mindset is real.
Yeah, and you know, you've just triggered 2 points in my mind. So point number 1, in terms of keto, the key thing with your program is sustainability. You know, and that's the main thing, being able to sustain a lifestyle. So it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. And then the other point is, yeah, you're exactly right. There's so much calculation which totals into that sum. So really small stuff, but very valuable is the way we eat as well. So you have your portion split up. I feel a lot more fuller, you know, and I understand my cues. Because for me, when I used to see food in front of me, I used to see it as a target. And now I understand that, you know, actually I'm not that hungry, you know. And there's a whole, I think there's a lecture on the understanding the French culture, because they get away with eating, drinking wines and eating bread and whatever, and they still seem to be quite slim. And it's really because they're understanding of the cues. So yes, so many things are so important.
What was your starting weight and what was the result after?
Oh, so my starting weight in kilos was about 95 kg.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so about 15 and a half stones. Then I went to about 14.8 kg, so 7 or 8 kg. So about I went to about 14.89. Floating around that really, and that was within that 12-week period.
Okay.
And then beyond that, now I've started to lose. Well, I'm in a position now where I've started applying press ups and sit ups. So I do that. I think you suggested in the program between praying and when I'm eating something, I start doing press ups.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in that thing now where I'm just like, I don't know whether I can see it physically. So whilst my weight isn't quite moving, and I know you guys said don't focus on the scales.
Yeah, after a certain point. Again, it depends on your height and weight and where it is. I'll tell you, I'll let you know if you should carry on looking at losing weight, or you should feel okay, I'm good there, and now I need to stabilize this weight.
Yeah.
And then maybe start adding weight should slowly go up, because there's a certain rate at which weight should go up. You shouldn't go up too fast.
Yeah.
And if you're doing weight training, or if you might still need to lose a bit more, or you can maintain. If you're maintaining that weight, that's a good sign. That means you're building muscle, but you're losing fat, but you're maintaining the weight.
Yeah, and I can feel my clothes being looser. I the other day I was running late for Tarawih, but I can feel my self getting fitter. So what ended up happening is that whilst I was walking in a very brisk pace, at a very brisk pace, and then I thought, what, I'm starting to feel fitter, so I started jogging, and then I ended up, jogging almost to the masjid. So yeah, stuff like that, which I'm really starting seeing changes. So yeah, it's been amazing.
So, would you recommend us?
Yeah, absolutely.
And why?
Yeah, well, I mean, all the reasons why I've just suggested. The main thing is for me is learning a skill set, for life, for the rest of your life. And yes, the upfront cost, or the short run cost might seem or appear quite expensive, but if you split it across, like I originally suggested, a year, or compare against a David Lloyd's membership, it's cheaper than a David Lloyd's membership. If you split it across 30, 40 years, then it really is penny. So you're paying this upfront cost to be fit for the rest of your life. It's a no-brainer. It really is a no-brainer.
So the next question I was going to ask is why we're different. I guess you kind of answered that.
I can give you a really short summary. Why are you different? Because you don't have to go to a gym. It's minimal, so it integrates with your lifestyle. You're not calorie counting. You're taking awful pictures of your food all the time. You don't have to after the program.
You're not sticking to a rigid meal plan.
Yeah, exactly. I can eat what I want. I can eat a kebab on a Friday and not feel guilty about it. I've got a better relationship with food because of the mindset shift. So, now I found out after the program, that isn't diet really, isn't, going to the gym. It's really a mindset shift and an education. And that's exactly what you're getting out of the program.
Thank you for that, Riz. Thank you for this interview. What I'm going to do, I'm going to stop it here.